Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to go into the waiver wires. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, it's getting close to the end of the year. A lot of the picks that you made, unless you're Delilah, a lot of the picks that you've made are making right now could be the difference between playoffs and me. So you don't want to be me. If you're above me, you're doing good. All right? Let's dive into it. Waiver wire. Sid, I'm coming to you. What you got on the waiver wire, buddy?
All right, man. So we missed last week, so I tried to pick up where we left off. My quarterback last week was Jimmy G. Garoppolo, I thought they were going to have to throw a lot to keep up with the Rams. It turns out their defense did plenty of that for them and the running game, so they didn't need Jimmy G, but I do like him going forward. They just got so many weapons. I think he's viable. The other quarterback, I think, is Mr. I'm Back.
Yes.
Cam Newton. I think he's going to – they're just going to – I mean, him and McCaffrey have so much chemistry. I like him as a fill-in. They are preparing him as a starter all week. So if he's a go, even if he's not a go, he's almost like their touchdown machine. So he's still going to get some points. Hey, it is what it is.
Remember, he's playing Washington this coming week.
And it's always start everybody versus Washington. That is the fantasy game plan. And then for running backs, again, I had Ramondre Stevenson for last week with Damian Harris being injured, and it looks like he is the man. He stepped up big time, and he looks the part. So I'm even with Harris coming back or not, I think Stevenson is a massive pickup going forward if you can get him. The other one I have for running back is Dante Pullman, the Titans running back. He seems to be the guy that they like more. They played him. He had more snaps than Adrian Peterson and McNichols. McNichols is the third down guy. Adrian Peterson's the short yard guy, but Foreman is their every other down guy. So he's going to get the majority of the carries, I think. So I like him a little bit.
Okay.
As for receivers, I had this dude last week, and he had another touchdown. So he's still available in a few leagues. Elijah Moore for the Jets. He seems to be he looks very talented. And I know the quarterbacks for New York aren't the best, but he's still, I think he's the most talented receiver. He looks the part. And he's been getting the target share. So I like him. And then, Darnell Mooney for the Bears. I think him and Fields. I was during the Steelers game. They were talking about how Mooney was the one that stayed after practice with Fields to get, his reps in and get him better when Fields was still the backup. So, him and Mooney and Fields have that chemistry already built, so he's going to be his favorite target, and I think that's why Robinson hasn't been what he's supposed to be. So I like Darnell Mooney, and then the last receiver, if Claypool misses again for the Steelers, Ray McLeod. He had 8 catches versus the Lions, so he's apparently that step-in role because everybody's going to cover Deontay with everybody out now. So Ray's the one that stepped up and made the connection with at least Mason. I think Ben likes him too. They get him in a lot of jet sweep options. They just like getting the ball in his hands. He's our returner, so he's electric if he can get it. So I like Ray McLeod. For tight end, available in a few leagues, I saw was Dan Arnold. He should be a viable option. Again, we talk about it all the time. Tight ends are so hard to find. If you get somebody that gets a couple catches, you like it. So Dan Arnold's definitely one that I saw that I would pick up. And then the other one had a monster game. Hunter Henry, him and Mac seem to have the connection, and Mac looks for him when he needs him. So Hunter Henry was available in a couple leagues I'm in. So if he's available in yours, I'd definitely go look for him. And that was everybody I had listed.
Nice. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties there. Who are the names between Cam and Mooney?
Ramondre Stevenson, Dante Foreman, and Elijah Moore.
Yep, as usual, Sid and I have pretty identical lists. I am disagreeing on the Cam pickup. I picked him up in one of the leagues we're in. Immediately had to drop him the next morning to go get Ingram because Kamara was out. And after I actually went and looked at it a little more, his next 4 weeks are against the Washington football team, Miami, a bye week, and then Atlanta. So you're going to have to wait 3 weeks before you get a good matchup from him. I don't like it. Washington is missing their 2 edge rushers. We were talking about this before the show. Chase Young and who else are you missing?
Montez Sweat has a broken jaw.
That is gonna help Cam a little bit, but if there's one coach in the league who knows how to shut Cam down, he's playing in this week. Ron Rivera is not going to let Cam get much traction. So I really don't like the Cam pickup. He is available in 12.5% of leagues, however, so if you're desperate, he's probably there. Tua's been my quarterback going forward for the rest of the year, solely based on schedule. For the rest of the year, they only play 2 teams that are above 500, and one of those teams is 5-4. They do have to play Tennessee. That's the only real matchup they have for the rest of the year. And as long as he can stay healthy, I like him to put up decent numbers. 35.6 ownership there, so chances are he's available as well. After what we saw yesterday, I think for this week, Mac Jones, go get him if he's out there. Go get him. Against that Atlanta defense, I think this kid's going to ball out. I think the running game is going to have a very big day in New England, but Cam's going to get his looks. We saw him make some throws last week those were grown man throws. And obviously we all know what the Atlanta defense is about, so go get him. I still like Mike Johnson. This was his first week in single digits since week 4. And that was coming against Buffalo. He put up 8.8, and they play Miami this coming week. We both had Dante Pullman. If Cordero Patterson can't go, Wayne Gallman is very interesting simply because Mike Davis's usage has been declining every single week. Obviously, Cordero's the guy, but Gallman gets targets. He's only owned in 0.6% of leagues. So if you have a roster spot, I would go and grab him and just wait to see what happens with Cordero Patterson. Rashad Bateman, we've talked about him over the last couple of weeks. I think he's a great pickup this week. Chicago gives up lots of points to wide receivers, and I am hoping that these defenses just have mediocre games and that these 2 quarterbacks just get into an absolute duel. I would love to see a high-scoring, exciting game that really pushes Justin Fields further and further in the right direction. Dan Arnold's been my tight end pickup for the last 3 weeks. He was my tight end last week, the week before, and I'm keeping him. He's had at least 7 catches and 60 yards for 3 straight weeks. And like we say every week, like Sid already said this week, hard to get production from tight ends. I am going to own my terrible call last week. Matt Ryan was my waiver quarterback. That didn't work out so well. And I'm real happy about it, but I'm gonna own that real bad call. I also really wanted to talk to you guys last week about Tim Patrick because this conversation goes all the way back to I think it's like week 3.
Yeah,
but
what happened week 3?
Guys, I told you guys that I did not like Tim Patrick as a waiver pickup because I didn't like his schedule going against Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Las Vegas, Cleveland, and Washington. Those were the games that I called that I did not like. He put up 3.9, 8.9, 10.2, 1.6, and 6.4. In fact, his only decent game all year was against the Cowboys, and that absolute just fluke of a game. Congratulations. I was right, though. Tim Patrick, complete bust in most of these games, and that's what I got.
I like that.
All right, I got a couple of things here for you because I think you might be looking at the wrong Tim Patrick. Since week 3, he's had 6.9, 15.9, 13.2. Last week against Dallas, he had 18.5. The week before that, 9.4. And the reason we told you to pick him up in week 3 is because that's when Jerry Jeudy went down. Judy's back. Drop Patrick. Yes, it was in between where he went 6.9.
I hate the fantasy app.
Exactly. Don't come at me, David. You were not correct. You were wrong. He had 3 games under 10 points, 4 games over 10 points. We said he was a fill-in, and he filled in. And the other thing,
busted. And one of those over 10 was against Dallas. Like, get it. Get out of here.
Who cares if it
He
was
has not
against?
been, and no, you kept calling increased production. I know exactly what happened though. Those numbers that I pulled were from the ESPN app, and those morons over there default to non-PPR format unless you're looking at players from within your team. So yeah, my numbers were incorrect, but
Yes.
Tim Patrick was not been the guy that you guys said he would be. So stop.
He gets the job done.
He's had 3 games under 10 points all year. Actually, 4 last week. All year. Every other game he had more than 10 points. Every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games over 10, 4 games under 10.
3 under, 4 over.
4 under, 6 over. All season.
4 and 6.
To the losing end. So he went 6 and 4 to the winning end.
What was his highest point total?
Highest
Outside of the Cowboys game.
15.9.
And then?
14.8. And then 13.9. And then 13.2. And then 12.7.
So he scored over 15 points twice.
Okay. He's not a first. He's not Cooper
And
Kupp. He's not going to go
he's
for 30.
damn near 500 just to get double digits.
He's not going to go for.
He's not the guy.
He's not Cooper
We
Kupp.
can
Dude.
move on.
Calm down. We're not saying that. And then the only other thing I had to say about your list of players is Mac Jones only threw 189 yards in a blowout win when they scored 41 points. I like Mac. I think he's the man. But Bill Belichick is going to run the football first and throw when he
That's
has
exactly
to.
what I said.
Yeah, but I don't think he's
Word for word, I said that the running game was going to have a great game, but that Mac Jones was going to get his looks because that Atlanta defense is so bad. And we saw that's exactly what I just said. Get out of here, Sid.
Hey, Nick, can I talk? I mean, David, sorry.
Wow.
That's literally what I said.
I was talking, sir.
Was that the running game was going to have a huge day for New England, but Mac Jones was going to
Still won't let me talk.
I really like
He needs to reclaim his time.
Still won't let me talk. They are going to run the football first going forward. Mac Jones is the guy, but he's not going to throw unless they need to. And I don't want my fantasy quarterback being second to the running backs. And that's all I'm saying. Mac is very capable, but I don't